Nothing is impossible. Now, Gabriel asked Mary to do something that seems to be pretty impossible. But yet, Gabriel understood that she would be able to do what needed to be done. She had the ability to do it. She was yoked to God in a way that would give her the strength to become the mother of the Most High, Jesus. Now, of course, Mary listens to this. She is aware she's a Pharisee by her own faith experience, and Pharisees at that time did believe in a Messiah coming back. And so when she hears these words, she is stirred, and she is hopeful. She is challenged, but she says, yes, here I am. Here I am. And now, over the next 30 or so years, she raises Jesus and her other children and helps support his ministry in a variety of ways. She's usually in the background, but she's there. She's always there, and she certainly was there at the end of Jesus' life. And after the death and resurrection of Jesus, Mary continues to stay in Jerusalem and help work to organize the next round of the church. She's part of that whole process. She lived out her life of faith. She said, yes, here I am. And today, I think it's fair to say if we look at the Old Testament or the New Testament, most scholars would agree, and maybe we would agree too, that when you look at all the characters in the New Testament, Mary is the second most significant. Jesus, then Mary, then you got to put Peter and Paul in there. But Mary plays such a critical role. Even though we don't hear a lot from her, I think we see the fruits of her ministry in some way through her son and the church that would follow. Now, we still live in New Testament times, do we not? Jesus has been born, he's been risen, he has helped spark faith over the ages. We are part of that community of believers that are invited to listen to the words of Jesus just as Mary did, and to take those next steps in our life of faith. So I invite you to think of yourself as Mary today. And it really shouldn't be that hard to imagine, because really you're more like her than you may realize. You are a child of God. Whether you're male or female, young or old, you are part of the team. You are part of the whole experience of taking the peace out into the world and sharing it every day in a variety of different ways. You have that license to do it, and you have the encouragement to do it. And so it's an opportunity for each of us to look at how we can live our lives in a world that doesn't necessarily organize itself along these lines. It's not easy. Now, you were not asked today to give birth to a baby named Jesus, but what you are asked to do today, and we remind you to do, is to give birth to the teachings of Jesus in your life. You are the church, and you are living now. In this New Testament time, you have the ability to become the hands and feet of God. And that's a powerful thing. It's a powerful thing. And so you, like Mary, have this opportunity from this day forward to just move out in time and space and to share. That's the opportunity we have. And like Mary responded, yes, you might respond, here I am, Lord. It is I, Lord. I have heard you calling in the night. I will go, Lord, if you lead me. I will hold your people in my heart. That's part of the Holden Evening Prayer that we celebrated every Wednesday. So just a little refrain from that. But I apologize, but God called me to do that. He said, Mark, sing a little, so I did. But where is God calling you right now? That becomes the question. Just like Mary was called to do something very significant, what is God calling you to do today? Maybe God is calling you to forgive someone. Someone in your life who is a challenge, who maybe has hurt you or let you down. Is God calling you to forgive that person? Maybe God's calling you to forgive yourself. We try to do good things, we make mistakes, we stumble and we fall, and life is the way it is. And sometimes we do things we regret, and we try to make the most out of making things better, but sometimes we need to forgive ourselves, recognizing that God has already forgiven us. Maybe God is calling you, to stop judging other people. Just stop it. To give birth to that life that frustrates you. To recognize that that life is loved by God. To understand we don't always understand what we think we see. There's more to the story. There's always more to the story. And all of us know that because we've had experiences with that, where we thought this person was whatever, and then we get to know them and it's different. So maybe God's calling you to stop judging others and rather be kind, or even more kind, to give the benefit of the doubt, which was kind of the big game plan of the first century church, giving each other the benefit of the doubt. You have all kinds of different people with different skill sets and backgrounds trying to become community. So giving the benefit of the doubt was really strong in the atmospherics of the first couple centuries of the church, along with a lot of arguments, to be sure. Maybe God's calling you to not turn away from human suffering. Maybe God's saying is, don't put your head in the sand. Don't listen to voices that try to poo-poo the fact that there are people who are hurting. Push that away and to listen carefully to the cry of the lost, the hurting, the oppressed, to become tuned into that and to go closer and closer to understand what human suffering is, what it's about, and then to ask yourself, after you become fully aware, the question, what should I do, Lord? Do not be afraid, my friends, of following the voice of Jesus. Don't be afraid. There are so many voices that we get to hear in this world, and we don't always hear the voice of Jesus. But the voice of Jesus, that still small voice, is in us. And if we attune ourselves to the shalom, if we embed ourselves in it, our discernment becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. But it takes effort, and it does take work, and it does take a desire that, yes, here I am, Lord. It is I. I choose to be your hands and feet. And so, my friends, as we are in this season of light, moving on to Christmas Eve in just a few hours, we can celebrate the fact that we are part of God's creation, that all people are part of God's creation, And we can become liberated from all of the gunk and all of the stuff that keeps us from becoming truly free to give and receive.